Hey y'all, it is January the 4th, 2018. And in a previous video, it's been a series of videos, we discussed the terminology that is known as founder hounders, aka gold diggers in the Silicon Valley area. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue. When I asked Founder X, and this is Emily Chang from Vanity Fair, she said, when I asked Founder X, who's anonymous, whether these men are taking advantage of women by feeding them inhibition, melting drugs at sex parties, that might be found as not good. He replies that on the contrary, no. He says, it's women. It's these damn women who he says it's women that are taking advantage of him. Right? And his tribe, preying on them for their money. These damn women are out here trying to run game and stuff like that. And he says that's actually the people that we need to be concerned about. And mind you, that if you were in that world, I could completely understand. If you are one of these tech people, I would understand that you'd be weary of these founder hounders. That makes sense, all right? But are those the people to really be worried about? According to Founder X, it is. So, on their way up to a potential multi-million-dollar payout, some young founders report more and more women seem to become mysteriously attracted to them. No matter how awkward, uncool, or unattractive that they might be. Alright? So this is widely known. All these people are unattractive and they're awkward and they're uncool, and women typically don't want to be around them. However, they have a lot of money, so magically women start to want to be around them. Right? However, many founder hounders exist. The idea of these women's lives. What? Okay. Emily Chang says this. However, many founder hounders exist. The idea of these women lives large in the mind of Silicon Valley founders, who often trade stories about women they've dated. Right? As Founder X puts it, we'll say whether some girl is a fucking gold digger, these are their words, or not. So, we know who to avoid. There's people out to get... What Founder X is saying is there's young ladies out there to get money, to get paid. It's not really anything else. They are going to get turned out. They're going to suck and jerk and get slippery and naked with all sort of things. All right? But there's certain ones out there. There's certain ones who are out to get the money. All right? As you might imagine. And that doesn't necessarily mean to marry you. All right, because they could marry one of these tech people and get all their money that way. That's true. Technically speaking, they can go the shorter route and start bringing up allegations and get money that way. And that way they're not married at all. And they still get money. And so, obviously, the founders would be wary of that. They tell people who to avoid because who do they think is going to do that? All right? So that is very much a concern for them and a factor in this whole world of sex orgies. When I tell her this is out of the article. So when I tell her this, Ava, a young female entrepreneur, rolls her eyes. When Emily Chang tells Ava that a lot of founders are wary about founder hounder gold diggers, a young female entrepreneur by the name of Ava rolls her eyes. According to Ava, who asked me to disguise her real identity and keep it a secret, please keep it a secret, and has dated several founders. It's the men, not the women, according to Ava, who seem obsessed with displays of wealth and privilege, obsessed with it. She tells of being flown to exotic locations, put up in fancy hotels, and other ways rich men have used their money to woo her, all right? Because that's what they do. That's all they have is money. Everything else is completely unattractive to ladies. Backing up Ava's view are the profiles one finds on dating apps when men routinely brag about their tech jobs or their startups or how they're about to get all sort of money. They'll brag about that because that's all they have to go on, right? In their online profiles, men are all but saying, hello, would you like to come up to my loft and check out my stock options, aka my wiener, right now? Alright, so just to continue, in Ava's experience, however, once men like this land a woman, the people who are spending on extravagant vacations, this and that, trying to buy them all sort of things, once they land a woman, they are quick to throw her back because, see, they turned her out in all sort of different ways. It is prostitution by definition. However, we're going to discuss and we're going to dive deeper into the fact is the nuances are not so much about money transacting hands, which it will do almost every time, but the intentions of the parties involved. Right? So, after a few extravagant days, like I say, Ava says she will initiate conversation about where the tryst is going. Right? In essence, Ava will basically say to her partner, I've broken you off in all sort of sexual different ways. What's going to come of this? And the men, they basically end things, say, oh, nothing's going to come of it. You leave now. Get another one of you. Obviously, I already got what I wanted. So the men, they end things, several using the same explanation. They say, I'm still catching up. You got to excuse me. I lost my virginity when I was like 25 because women are not attracted to me. Ava tells me that that's what is usually told to her. Or she told Emily Chang. She says, and I'll say, well, you're 33 now. Are we all caught up yet or what? Are you still, you're 33? Are you still catching up on your sexual perversion? That's what she'll say. And in other contexts, these fancy dates would be romantic. It would be romantic, but in this context, it's not. Instead, it's charged because no one would F them in high school. This is a fact that everybody ubiquitously knows is what would be called common sense. Alright? That's what she's diving into. This lady named Ava. And she's having trouble landing a husband. And she wonders why that is. Alright? So Ava's jaundiced view of a newly wealthy moguls would be funny if their gold digger obsession didn't mask something serious. The claim of being stalked by women often becomes an excuse used by some tech stars to justify their own predatory behavior. Alright, we might finish out this video on that note. What she's explaining is these techs will use the excuse of founder-hounders and people trying to manipulate them to cover up their absolutely inappropriate behavior and sometimes rape, probably. They're using this as an excuse, and certainly founder-hounders out there exist. It's not many of them, but they're using it as a clever excuse right now to get away with all sort of things, to include rape. Alright? And that's not good, but the environment definitely caters to that being absolutely feasible to do. And it's taking place. It's going to take place in an untold number of events. And the opposite is going to take place in which guys are actually accused of something they didn't do. So it's going to go back and forth. All sort of lives are going to get ruined. Who cares? Everybody's having sex orgies. Alright? And this can in no way hurt everybody's lifestyle. Anyways, we're going to continue on another video. I'm going to holler at you. It's January the 4th, 2018.